Welcome to Lunch with Legacy Leaders, a weekly talk show with local and national thought leaders on issues impacting the Black community. Now introducing our host, Miss Ann Marie Sorrell.
Good afternoon and welcome to Lunch with Legacy Leaders. I'm your host, Ann Marie Sorrell, President and CEO of the Mosaic Group. We're so excited about our we've got an exclusive, y'all, guest today on her big announcement, and we'll take you into that in just a moment. But before we get started, I'd like to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible, the Mesman and Dover Accident Attorneys and AARP. Today, I am joined by Miss Neki Mohan, who is the new Vice President of Multicultural Business and Community Engagement for Visit Lauderdale. Welcome, Neki.
Hi, thank you for having me. You put
Thank
me
you for
out there on
being
blast. I'm still trying to hide.
Well, I want to first thank you for granting us the exclusive coverage of this announcement that you just made or that you're making.
Yeah.
And, for our audience, and I think a lot of people in South Florida already know you. You're no stranger to various audiences across South Florida. But for those who don't, I just want to give a brief formal introduction on your background, but then we're going to allow you in your own words to kind of take us through your journey. So stand by while I just kind of do the formal introductions. So Neki Mohan has joined Visit Lauderdale as Vice President of Multicultural Business and Community Engagement. In her new role, she will work to strengthen the Greater Fort Lauderdale community's economic position and vitality through tourism-related opportunities and education, leading the Bureau's multicultural business development team and bringing to life the destination's everyone under the sun motto of diversity, inclusion, and welcome to all. Most recently, Neki launched her own media company in 2020, shining a spotlight on things she loved about her community in South Florida and the Caribbean. She served over a decade as an anchor of a #1 rated morning television show in Miami. She's covered red carpets, world leaders, and some of the biggest news stories at 10 TV stations in 5 cities. Neki is a sought-after motivational speaker and serves on Arts and Action Advisory Board at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. She has been named one of the top Caribbean influencers in South Florida by Legacy Magazine. Born in Brooklyn, New York, hey to New York, to West Indian parents. She was raised in Trinidad and Tobago and came back to the U.S. for college. She holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in journalism and politics from the University of Maryland. She began her career alongside journalism greats like Carol Simpson, Peter Jennings, David Brinkley, and Sam Donaldson at the ABC News Washington Bureau. Her on-air career began in Jackson, Mississippi, and has taken her to Los Angeles, Cleveland, and Miami. Mohan is a passionate mentor and has been mentoring for the Women of Tomorrow program for 20 years. She has been an adjunct professor at Barry University and is a board member at the Jack and Jill Early Childhood Education Center in Fort Lauderdale. So welcome again.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. You reading all that stuff made me feel a little old, but with my new title, I'm just humbled and honored to be here at Visit Lauderdale, doing what I love to do best, which is highlighting the great things in our community.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, let's just kind of dive into. I like for our legacy leaders to kind of take us through in their words. The bio is great, but just briefly take us through how you have gone from first to journalism and becoming a leading anchor into now leading one of the tourism destination management economic engines, largest one of the largest ones in the state of Florida, to be exact.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, and I sit in the seat of my predecessor, who was a valued leader in this community, the late Al Tucker. We were really good friends. So just honor. I want just for everyone that remembers Al and knew Al. He was a friend to so many. I'm humbled, and I'm going to build on the great legacy that Al left here in Broward County. You kind of said it in my bio, right? Born in New York, raised in the Caribbean, came back to the U.S. to be a journalist, and that's what I did for 30 years. But in every town that I lived in, whether it was college, whether it was a beginning job, I always remembered that to reach out to my community. My job was always to help people and to highlight stories that most may not see because they weren't in those circles, to shine a spotlight on the great things that were going on in my community. South Florida was my longest running market. I had been here for 20 years at 2 different stations. And at every station that I worked at, I always made sure that I incorporated stories from the different segments of the community that most people may not socialize in at the different stations. That's how I met Al. Al called me in 2004 to host a netball tournament. And for my Caribbean folk, netball is our women's version of basketball that I played in high school. And I hosted the opening reception for teams from New Zealand and Australia and England and all the different Caribbean nations. And that's how Al and I became friends and partners in the community. So when I look at where I sit now, I'm like, in a weird way, was that my path? Was something from above, like, had Al mentoring me to the point that I'm in now? So many of his friends in the community have reached out to me, and we lost him in 2020. I remember reading the story on the air in tears. They have said that Al would be smiling, right now. And I hope that is the truth, because now in the position that I sit, I get to continue to do all the great work that I've always done, and much more. I mean, like you said, I represent the multicultural brand for one of the biggest tourism divisions in the state of Florida. And I do so proudly. I work with a fantastic team. I don't do this alone. I do this with all the work that Al did behind, as well as I have a fantastic team here at Visit Lauderdale.
Thank you. And Al Tucker was definitely a dear friend of mine. Knew him for many years, actually, when he was working with Visit Florida, and then came to Fort Lauderdale. And he had done a tremendous amount of work. So just rest in paradise, Al. We definitely miss you. So with your new role, and knowing all the great things that Al Tucker had done in this role, what is your vision for moving this role forward?
So this role has been expanded. Let me have a drink of water. We were talking about eating before we got on here. So Al's role mainly was multicultural business. I think the role for me has expanded into community engagement, because not only am I here to continue to market Broward County to the multicultural marketing, branding for all of the different conventions and all of the different religious organizations and the sororities and the fraternities. And there's so many wonderful family reunions out there, but it's also to create access to the economic engine that is tourism in this state. So we have 31 cities here in Broward County. The Greater Visit Lauderdale is an economic engine that works to market the entire county, not just Fort Lauderdale. We are Visit Lauderdale because, like everything else, even in Miami, people know Miami, people know Fort Lauderdale. But as we know, Miami has so many different cities that go into that brand. Same thing here. We have 31 cities in our county, and we're here to market all the wonderful things. And my job is to create access. I've been reaching out to marketing teams in each of our cities and showing them how to access our resources for marketing, for festivals, and just keep in touch and be in touch. So it is my job now in this role to stay in touch and create access. Anybody's watching, you want to be involved or have your restaurant or have your venues marketed on our website, just reach out. Our address is gflmarketing@broward.org. Our website, visitlauderdale.com. You can find that on there. You can also sign up for our newsletter to find out how to be involved in Dine Out Broward and all the different amazing programs we have throughout the year to help drive business throughout the entire county.
And that's wonderful to hear, because being in the community, I think a lot of times just in my experience, and I've been working in community and government for the last 17 years, and particularly when it comes to the tourism arms of the various counties, there is often kind of a disconnect between the community knowing what the tourism arm does versus, any other entity, or even how to, whether if you're a business, how to now become a part of, the whole destination marketing piece. So I'm glad to hear that you're doing that. And
I do that as well. But we realized that there was more we could do from a communication and a marketing standpoint. And having me here is a part of that. I mean, talking is what I've done for 30 years, right? So I can get out there and put that messaging out there, and make sure that people have access. We have programs and a lot of things designed to connect with the greater community. And it is my job to get out there and make sure everyone knows about it.
Now, your role really focuses on the multicultural community, and we know that Broward County by far is probably arguably one of the most diverse, if not the most diverse county in the state of Florida. How and why is a role like yours so important?
I think it's so important because, first of all, we are a multicultural brand. Should I mute my audio? I'm hearing a little bit of feedback. I'm a former TV person. I don't like feedback. And I want to make sure your broadcast is clean. You know what? I laugh when I hear multicultural because growing up in the Caribbean and living in South Florida, it's like multicultural means everybody, right? Because that's where we are. But I think it's important to have this role because we all run in different circles, don't we? So to have this role, to be out there, to be that face, like I owned a home in Miramar for 16, 17 years. I still do. One of our greatest groups in that community was Chinese. My daughter was in class with a lot of different Chinese residents. I have to really be purposeful and intentional in going out and connecting with all these different groups that's why diversity in any organization is important. When everybody goes home, what their home circle looks like is different. So to have someone that knows to go into the different communities and that people know is really, really, really important, because I can tell you where a great Indian restaurant is in Coral Springs. I can tell you where I go for jerk chicken in whatever city I go to, where to get a patty, where to get some roti. But I think that's always been who I am. So to actually have a role where that's what I do is kind of a win-win for me, and hopefully a win-win for Visit Lauderdale as well.
Absolutely. And I was trying to mute myself to not give you the feedback. So with that being said, what are some of the latest trends I know it's kind of a off top question, but, what are some of the latest trends as it relates to multicultural tourism, particularly multicultural visitors and tourists that are coming to the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale or Greater Lauderdale, as well as South Florida? What are the trends that you're seeing or have seen, and have it been, different? We know in Florida in general has had a lot of visitors and new residents since the pandemic. Do you have an idea from a multicultural standpoint what that shift has looked like, if anything?
People want more access. People want more information. Is that me? People want more access. They want more information. They need to know more about their community. What we do here at Visit Lauderdale is not just for the visitors, right? It's for the residents as well. We're building a brand new, we're revamping our convention center and building a brand new convention hotel that includes an urban park set to be done in 2025 that residents will have access to, with an amphitheater on the water on the intercoastal. Everything we do here is a plus for the residents as well. We're not just a community for visitors, because who patronizes the restaurants, the hotels, and everything year round? It's the residents. And like you said, we have a lot of new residents. What are the trends? I think the trends are that we're paradise without a passport. So for a lot of people who were afraid to leave the state during the pandemic, they came here. And to keep them coming here, We have to provide high level service. I know I love to travel. Traveling is my thing. That is my vice. That's what I like to spend my money on. I know when I want to go somewhere, has to have great service, has to be high end. Um, I mean, we are travelers. Like we were, I got my first lead, yay, the other day. So I'm like booking a conference, and the first thing out of this group, which was a very diverse group of executives, is that we want the best, we want the high end, they want service, and they want great service. And we work. Not a lot of people know what the Convention and Visitors Bureau does. Visit Lauderdale is constantly in contact with all of our providers to make sure that when people come here and have a convention, they have the very best experience possible.
Now, I know you're highly focused on Lauderdale, but I do know that some of the trends that have recently taken place is kind of a regionalization or regionalized approach to, everything from economic development, transportation planning, et cetera, where, Miami-Dade, Broward, and yes, Palm Beach is a part of South Florida. Oftentimes, Palm Beach gets left out of the quote unquote South Florida conversation. So or if you are already, if not, if you're planning to collaborate from a regional perspective with your colleagues at the Greater CVB in Miami, or Discover the Palm Beaches in Palm Beach, or even Monroe or St. Lucie, Martin counties, which still kind of fall within the South Florida framework.
I haven't made it up to St. Lucie County yet, but I've always had great partners personally in Palm Beach and in Miami. And just from working on a weekend show, because we promoted all of their special advertising months and everything, just for residents to take advantage of. One of my very first calls sitting in this seat was to my peer, Connie Kennard, down in Miami. And she and my predecessor worked together very closely. We're all in the same state, but a lot of things are very different about us. So sometimes something may come to Miami and she may not be the perfect fit, and they may want to come here. Anytime a conference comes to shop here, they stop in all three places. We understand, we all want the business, right? But if we can't get the business, why can't the neighbor get the business? So we all we market ourselves, but we do work collaboratively. It's like an example is something like Jazz in the Gardens. It sits on the border. People stay here, people stay there. We all work together to make sure the most important thing is making sure the customer has the best experience, and of course that the residents reap the benefits of tourism.
Absolutely. So do you have any specific programs and initiatives? Like I know you talked about where like residents, if they want to be, not restaurants, if they want to be listed, there's a website and an email that they can send their information to. But do you have any specific programs or initiatives that you'd like to share with our audience, our businesses, our residents that are listening, any career opportunities, whatever that may be?
Well, like I said, visitlauderdale.com is our website, so you can go check that out. We just launched this whole magazine set called Explore, and we have them in several different cities, and they're guides, right? They're guides to all the latest restaurants in every city, every major city. And this one is like 4 cities. This one's like Coral Springs, Coconut Creek, Parkland, Margate. This one's Wilton Manors, Oakland Park, and Lazy Lake. GFLmarketing@broward.org. My email is nmohan@broward.org. These are things that are updated constantly on the website, and that will be published periodically, and that's what sits in the hotels. Send me an email, send me a link. We are constantly, we went through COVID too. So, a lot of things are just starting back up after COVID, and we're making sure that that people know what's going on. I mean, even to sit on our website, like part of my job is just to sit there and make sure like the things that we listed still exist, and that I know of the new businesses that are starting. The good thing is that the economy is strong. There are lots of things happening in South Florida on both sides. Afro-Carib Festival, which is an event I just talked to Commissioner Davis over at Miramar about. That's in Miramar at the end of February. There's so many things happening that we do reach out and put it on our calendar, and you'll see that on Visit Lauderdale. But people also, we need you to reach out to us. Part of my job too is to make sure that maybe there are businesses that want to reach to the level where they become providers for bigger events. We have lots and lots of services here in Broward County, and I want to be a connector and a collaborator for anyone that wants to be part of the prosperity of tourism.
I think that's a great point, because with the events or the conferences that you're bringing, there are especially minority service providers out there. And I think they'd love to be able to have an opportunity to work with your team as a provider or as a vendor for different services for the types of events that you either bring in or support or whatnot. So I think thank you for kind of raising that point as well. And being open for everyone to be able to reach out to you and connect with you. We definitely appreciate that, because we know that you're busy. I'm sure you have a lot of different things on your plate.
They know who they're reaching out to, and they just don't go into a black hole. But I want everyone to know that whether it's facilitating a family reunion, booking a large convention, or just pointing the way to some of the best things in our state, that's what we're here for here on Visit Lauderdale. Certainly the best things in our county, the best restaurants, the best experiences. So if you if you have a business that that you want to get involved in the tourism or put on our website, please go to visitlauderdale.com. You can email us at gflmarketing@broward.org, or you can email me at nmohan, MOHAN, at broward.org, and we're happy to facilitate. Of course, we definitely want the big conventions. We got a big new convention center that we're opening in 2025, but we're here for our visitors, but most importantly, we're here for our community. We're here for our residents.
No, thank you for that. And I just want to point out, because if anyone out there is like me that's paying attention right now, it looks like there's some rebranding, because wasn't it like sunny.org before? So I don't know if you can talk about the rebranding as well.
Now you're going to get me in trouble. I'm in a whole other department. You're going into all the marketing. But yes, there was a rebranding. My CEO and president, Stacey Ritter, just had, spoke about this in the South Florida Business Journal. But yes, they did a lot of research and realized that was the best branding. There's so many other counties, visit Orlando, visit Florida, that Visit Lauderdale was best for branding and marketing, goes along with our website. And yeah, we're like everybody else, constantly when you're in business, and our business is marketing the county and marketing our services to our residents and putting them in touch with the prosperity of the county. You always have to up your game, and that's what we're doing. We're up in our game. So yes, Visit Lauderdale is our new branding, and a lot of research and a lot of thought went into it. And we're not just here for the East Side, we're here for all our 31 cities in the county.
Well, that is great to hear, and I really look forward to connecting with you more, Neki. Now, is there any other information that you'd like to share, any other closing thoughts that you'd like to share with our audience before we go into some announcements?
Yeah, no, I just want to say, again, I'm humbled to be in this role. My predecessor, Al Tucker, was a friend to many and laid a great foundation for me to build upon. And I want to thank everybody in the community that has reached out to me to support me in this role. And I'm going to come in here to do the very best job to make sure that I create, a real sense of community and access to everyone in our county. Thank you for having me, Ann Marie. Thank you for having me, Legacy. And I appreciate your support over the years.
Absolutely. And this in Legacy will continue to support you, Neki. We'll continue to support Visit Lauderdale and all the efforts that you're doing in our community. Of course, any programs, initiatives, and activities that you have that we can share to the masses. We are here to be a part of that. And of course, we welcome you to be a part of our programming at Legacy as well. And I personally welcome you to, partner with us at Mosaic Group and our clients. We have some exciting things coming up that I'll talk with you about offline if you don't already know with some of the other cities that we work with, just to make sure, because I wanted to point out for any other of my colleagues out there that are in marketing and that work with government, this is a great, Neki has presented a great opportunity for us to have another platform or another space to learn about the various initiatives.
I'm fidgeting, so I'm like about to drop my lighting.
No worries.
It's distracting.
It happens.
So that's how it goes.
It happens. No worries at all. So thank you so much. And I hope that everyone really got this information. I'm just going to say a few quick announcements, Neki, if you'll stay with me. I definitely want to thank our sponsors again, Demesman and Dover Accident Attorneys and AARP, and just a few exciting announcements from our partners at Broward College. If you're looking for a higher paying job, start your life-changing career in 2 years or less with Broward College Fast Track Certification programs. Training is available for South Florida's top earning industries, and you can learn more by visiting www.broward.edu/fast track legacy, or you can call 954-306-9085. And I will put these in the comments as well. Please be sure to check out our new issue that's going to be coming up. So save the date. In a couple of weeks, you'll be able to get the new Black History Month issue. Of course, if you haven't checked out our current issue, which is featuring the most influential and prominent women in business and industry, you can visit our website at MIA Media Group, that's grp.com. And I'm really excited about the New World Symphony presents I Dream a World, the Harlem Renaissance and Beyond. It's going to be from February 1st through the 5th at the New World Center. It's a 5-day festival that explores and celebrates the history and influence of the Harlem Renaissance and the epicenters of Black excellence that thrived across the nation during the 1920s. Langston Hughes, Duke Ellington, Fats Waller, Florence Price, William Grant Still, Ma Rainey, and more. They launch a long list of cultural giants whose greatness and genius forever changed America's landscape. So make sure you check out I Dream a World, the Harlem Renaissance and Beyond. Again, that's February 1st through the 5th at the New World Center. Of course, please watch all of our shows that take place each day. We have something for everyone. Mondays, The Business of Black Business at 1 p.m. with Jay Reynolds. Tuesday, My Money, Your Money at 7 p.m. with Brigitte Lumpkins. Wednesday, Soul, where we're dishing all of the soulful news on relationships, health, culture, fashion, art with Nikki Jellin. Of course, Thursdays at noon with yours truly, Lunch with Legacy Leaders, and Flavor of South Florida on Thursdays at 7 p.m. with none other than Chef Irie, where he's exploring all the amazing Black restaurants throughout South Florida. So again, as always, be sure to share this video, save the date. Thank you again, Nikki, for joining us. Make sure. That's what, thank you. I don't know if you were going to say something.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. Everyone, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again next Thursday at noon.